Hey everyone, how's it going? I hope everyone has had a great week. Back again with another true or false video. Hope you guys are enjoying these, and I'm enjoying coming up with myths to make true or false videos out of. So this one is kind of a popular one. I think a lot of people wonder about this, but it's true or false. The burning zone is key for fat loss. And so the answer to this question is actually false. Um, and so where does this come from? You may have been on your favorite cardio machine at the gym at some point or another, or have glanced at a cardio machine if you're not someone who does cardio. And you'll see kind of they have like ways of measuring heart rate zones on the machine, and there's this usually this zone called out. I don't know what the heart rate is usually, but it's usually called out and says this is the ideal heart rate range that you need to be in order to burn the most fat. And you might have heard this in other contexts as well, where you use a heart rate monitor and you use some kind of formula to calculate what um, what heart rate you need to be at in order to burn the maximum amount of fat. And so there is some truth to uh, this I guess myth, but it's kind of conflated and gets a little bit more nuanced. Um, for those of you who don't know, as you increase in intensity, usually during exercise, the less fat you burn, right? So when you're doing like very easy stuff, going for a walk, an easy run, that type of stuff, maybe a hike or so, depending on how hard the hike is, um, the you're burning majority. Most people, if you're healthy, are burning majority of fat while doing that to fuel that exercise. And as you get higher and higher intensity, like if you're going to go do some sprints or some really heavy weightlifting, or you're going to do something that really jacks your heart rate up, you're going to go do a 2K row on the rower for time. Um, you're going to be burning mostly carbohydrates or what we call glycogen, which is stored carbohydrates in the body, as opposed to fat, right? So there is an ideal heart rate zone where you're burning the most fat possible. And then as you increase intensity, it's going to decrease. However, what you burn during for to fuel your muscles contracting is not going to necessarily equate to body fat loss. So if your ultimate goal is to improve your body composition, you do not need to be within this quote unquote optimal fat burning zone in order to burn fat, to lose body fat. So if you're most people are interested in the body fat part of things, and they're not necessarily interested in how much fat they are burning to fuel their exercise. If you're interested in body fat loss, you don't necessarily need to be in this fat burning zone. So that kind of begs the question of what then is the best exercise to burn body fat? Well, the first one I'm going to say is first thing, a characteristic of an exercise, I would say is what exercise do you like to do? Because the most important thing to me is that you are exercising consistently and you develop a routine to exercise consistently because that is going to be the best for body fat loss. Um, and so we want enjoyment, which therefore leads to consistency, which is important. Also, the thing that really is going to dictate body fat loss is the amount of calories you burn and the amount of calories you eat. So most people are never going to have enough time or have enough physical capacity to out exercise a bad diet. Some people do, but most people do not. And also the type, duration, intensity of exercise you do can have an impact on the types of foods you want to eat, right? Sometimes people want to eat a lot of, very high calorie foods, and they get cravings for them after certain types of exercise. So, what exercise allows you to maintain a sustainable caloric deficit over the long term, right? So, we don't want you to be overeating because if you're overeating, then that's not going to lead to fat loss. So, we want to take into consideration the type of exercise that also allows you not to overeat. And then finally, our our the last important characteristic of this exercise routine that I want to call out for fat loss is that we need to include strength training in this exercise routine. The reason being is because we're not interested in losing muscle, we are interested in losing body fat. And if you put yourself in a caloric deficit and you don't strength train, you're going to lose muscle mass. And that's no good. That's no good for a body composition because you could literally lose, the scale could go down, you could lose and you could weigh less, right? But you could have the same body composition, meaning your body could be composed the same amount of muscle and the same amount of fat because you lost an equal amount of body fat and muscle. Or even worse, you could be at a worse body composition because you lost more muscle than you did fat. So we need to be we need to be strength training at least 2 times a week for roughly 30 minutes. And I can go into much more detail about that. And I do on my blog, so you can check out the post there. But that should also be it's a kind of mandatory in exercise routine. So to summarize, no, you do not need to be in the fat burning zone in order to lose body fat. That is not a true statement. What you do need to do is to find an exercise routine that you enjoy. This will allow you to exercise continuously, which will be beneficial for fat loss. And you need to pay attention to the type of exercise you're doing so that it doesn't make you overeat, doesn't make you crave foods that you're going to just overconsume. And the final piece of this is whatever exercise routine you choose, it doesn't matter, but you need to have at least 2 strength training sessions a week to help maintain your muscle mass. That routine will lead to optimal body fat loss and also help you maintain muscle and even build muscle and put you at a better body composition. So I hope you find that useful. There's a lot more nuance that goes into this discussion, but I'm going to try and keep these videos a little bit shorter. All the other details are on my blog and other newsletters that I put out. So you can please go to my blog at rjbhealth.coach. You can search for anything you want there: strength training, body fat loss, muscle building, anything you want. And guarantee you I've written an article about it. And you can get more information there. Or if you have specific questions on this stuff, you can't find anything, please leave a comment in the video and I will direct you right to where you need to be. The best way to keep track of all the stuff that I put out is please join my newsletter. You can scan that QR code you see in the upper corner of the video here. That'll bring you to my website, right to the newsletter sign up page where you can enter your email address and sign up for the newsletter, get on the newsletter, and then I'll just email you whenever I put out new content. So, and finally, if you do need some like really more nuanced one-on-one coaching around anything, whether it's body fat loss or anything else health related, please, I do have one spot open for my health coaching, one-on-one health coaching clients. You can go to my website, rjbhealth.coach, click on the schedule discovery call button on the page, right in the homepage there. Fill out that form. That will send me an email, and I will email you back, and we can set up a time to chat a little bit more about any kind of coaching you might need. So, as always, I hope everyone has a great week. Please, if you enjoy these videos, let me know. If you hate them, also let me know so I can stop making them and I'll make something different. And I'll talk to you all next week.